How about that Microsoft press conference? How about it, guys? That was actually quite impressive. It was a pleasant surprise, to be honest. There were so many things that I expected to see there, like Halo and Gears, that I got to see there. But honestly, everything that was showcased, even if I expected it, was showcased in a way, basically existed in a way that I didn't expect it to. Like, just pleasant surprises all around, whether I knew about it or I didn't know about it. So there's like so much to go through. We'll try and make it through this without my voice absolutely failing today. There's a lot of small stuff I'm not going to touch on that I'm still super excited about. Games like Tunic, which is being worked on by a single dev, very Legend of Zelda, but you're a fox. It looks incredibly beautiful, and I love the direction that game's going. We saw Battletoads is supposedly happening. Battletoads? Why the hell not? Microsoft has picked up a bunch of studios, 5 studios, including Ninja Theory, which is freaking fantastic, as well as Playground Games, who's working on the new Forza Horizon, which also looks mind-blowing, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. I think we should start at the very end of their conference with what was their closer, Cyberpunk 2077. Yes, CD Projekt showed up and gave us some in-engine footage of the world of Cyberpunk 2077, and holy shit. That's all I can say. It's vibrant, it's colorful, it's dark, in dangerous in a social and political sense. It is like everything I ever could have hoped for from a cyberpunk world being built by the Witcher devs. It just looks mind-blowingly good, and I can't wait to like see in game. I just can't wait to know more. Interestingly enough, CD Projekt went ahead and snuck some stuff in to their boot up screen during the reveal. And they talked about some pretty important questions, rumors, I guess you could say, that people were passing around in regards to 2077 for the last few months. First and foremost, there's still no release date. They ask us for their patience still. They said the game's going to be pretty big, but they don't want to ask anyone to pre-order yet. When the mention of DRM expansions and free DLC came up, they were like, of course, expect nothing less from us. Free DLC, free expansions, no DRM. Microtransactions, they said, in a single-player role-playing game, are you nuts? And then they said, once again, thank you for your patience. So, so typically and wonderfully, CD Projekt read, man, yeah, I'm excited for that one. I won't gloat over it anymore because we could sit here for 40 minutes and I could just say, man, yeah, whoa, dude, yeah. I could just keep going. So why don't we go back to the beginning of the conference with Halo Infinite. Now, this isn't technically new Halo. It is. That's what they're calling it. It's called Halo Infinite. And the footage that we got was very much a engine demo to take us into the future of the franchise. But I just don't know how accurate the things within the demo are. Is this going to be a prequel? If it is, sign me up. Halo 1 is a very magical piece of the Halo universe, the Halo storyline. And I would more than happily go back to that. More than happily go back to that. The big thing, though, with this trailer is just that, this new engine demo, the Slipspace engine as they're calling it, which brings a brand new aesthetic, a brand new art direction for the franchise. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you've changed art directions before, but this is different. This is a whole new direction, and for me, watching this trailer, seeing the new art, and then the music kicking in, the bum, bum, dude, I lost it, man. I got really emotional. Halo is my teenage years. It's a part of my youth. It's very special to me, as it is to so many people. And there was just something about this aesthetic, this art direction, the trailer that it kicked me right in the face, and then kneeled down and grabbed my heart and just ripped it out of my chest and was like, see it, it's beating. And it was wonderful. It's like moving concept art. That's the best way I can describe this. I mean, take a look at just these screenshots I took. These are from a 1440p YouTube video that's been compressed to no extent, but they still look unbelievable, man. They're just crisp, they're clean, but they've got that. There's just something about concept art that has always grabbed me emotionally, and this has that. So, man, if you wanted to show your community, show your players that you're looking to revitalize a franchise, I think this trailer was an outstanding way of doing that, and I'm very excited for the future of Halo, just based on this trailer alone. I know it's a crazy thing to say, but I don't care. You gave me a really amazing trailer with some incredible art, and if you are doing a prequel, sign me the frig up. Moving on to more Microsoft stuff, we did get to see new Gears of War. Now, they're actually developing Gears Tactics, which is Gears of War on the PC XCOM style, which actually has me stoked. But more importantly, we saw Gears of War 5. Now, when I thought Gears of War 5, I thought, okay, they're going to pick up where we left off in 4. But they're not really. They're actually going seemingly a pretty good chunk of time beyond 4, and we are now taking on the role of Kate, who is dealing with her connection to the Locust. There's a lot of things that have happened with the characters. JD's got some weird thing on his arm. Marcus is still there. Someone dies at the start of all of this, and they are actually back, like, working under Jin. So, yeah, a lot has happened, but Kate and Del are now going on out on their own adventure, their own story, if you will, to solve this problem that Kate now has. She's having dreams, she's dealing with something to do with the Locust, and we get to see new enemy types that are, you know, essentially being formed from the leftovers of this piece of society. And man, it looked incredible. Like, that just boom. It's like the first thing I did was look at my phone when that happened, waiting for my other, like, lifelong Gears friends, who I still play with, to just hit me up with a message, and everybody's just the same thing, like, right in the feels, man, like, yeah, you know, it's such a different direction for the story. It's just, yes, man. And there was melee combat, new Locust, like, I'm so stoked on that. I really genuinely am. I can't wait to see more when it comes to Gears of War there. Now, outside of, like, the first party stuff, I know Stadia Pro X technically not first party, but there's just a bunch of other goodness there as well. From Software with Shadows Die Twice. I know a lot of you guys were excited for that. Basically, Tenchu looks unfriggin' believable. Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2, man. This is a really special one for me. The first Dying Light is a criminally underappreciated experience with an amazing piece of DLC in the form of its one and only large-scale expansion. This is them, though, going in a completely new direction for Dying Light. Like, yes, it's still parkour, melee combat. They're still obviously focusing heavily on that, but now they've got this new aesthetic, this new art direction, this new world direction. It just feels like something really unique and special. It doesn't just feel like Dying Light, which felt like a game that had a lot of great gameplay mechanics, but in terms of its story and its atmosphere, just felt kind of jumbled. This is now just going someplace new. They got Chris Avalon doing the story work for them, like writing the narrative. Chris freaking Avalon, Kotar, Chris Avalon, working on the story for them, and they showcased like an ever-changing world that is affected by hundreds of decisions you'll be able to make throughout the course of the game. So, like, man, yeah, that I think is a chance for Dying Light to become something more, to transcend itself beyond just being a really great gameplay-driven zombie killing experience to a really great experience that happens to take place in a world filled with zombies, right? So I could not be more stoked for that team. I think that's everything that franchise deserves, and I cannot wait to see more of it. Moving on, The Division 2, which now takes place in DC during the summertime, 6 months after the sort of infection happens. And this is one of those things where I'm going to go back for a lot of these videos, and we're going to make separate videos throughout the week because I'm so excited to talk about this stuff. But to just, like, hit on it, there's a lot of new stuff there. And I love this, right? Ubisoft, like, they know how people feel about it, brought back the original E3 reveal crew. Megan, Kit, Duke, and I believe Matt is the main character. These are some of the same characters that were in the original E3 reveal for the first game. They're back here now playing these in-game characters, doing that same sort of we're gamers thing, and I'm okay with that. I know people hate it, but I just don't care. I actually like that Ubisoft did this again because it just felt like coming home again for me. And I mean, the game just looks incredible. It's beautiful because The Division is beautiful. This does not look at all like a stretch considering how beautiful The Division 1 is on PC. And we saw some new gameplay mechanics, new stylistic decisions, like more depth of field when the character went over the shoulder in third person. There just seemed to be a bigger focus on building out the RPG elements of the game, in combat at least, as we get to see, in a more intelligent and more clean and clear manner. And it looked fantastic. It really did. I can't wait to see more about it. And I love the kind of direction they set up, though. The idea that DC is, like, overran, the capital is controlled by some evil, corrupt force, and you are essentially working towards that to try and claim it as maybe that's going to be some sort of an endgame activity. It looks great. I mean, I love The Division. You guys know how I feel about that game since it's improved and grown. I can't wait to see what else they're doing with it. Plain and simple. We won't have to wait long. While it is releasing next year in March, they're also going to be doing a beta later this year. You can go ahead and sign up for that on all 3 platforms. We also saw Metro Exodus there. I'm just going to say yes, yes, yes to that 1,000 times. It was great to see more Metro. Again, I'm really hoping that ends up being 4A's chance to really break into the mainstream with Metro, because it's a franchise that deserves it tenfold. We saw DMC 5. Did you ever think you'd see Devil May Cry 5? Ever? There were rumors about it. and like people were like hoping it would happen, but it's actually here. Capcom is back at the helm. I'm not going to try and say the Japanese director's name, but he's doing it once again. Interestingly enough, it appears to be Dante as the way he was created by Ninja Theory. Like, that looked to be the character approach, but it is very much Devil May Cry 5 under Capcom once again. I actually liked DMC, even though it had a lot of flaws, but the fact that we're getting a sequel to DMC 4 after all this time, and it's coming out in spring 2019, is really, really exciting. I know a lot of fans are stoked on that. There were also some really off-the-wall games out there, like Jump Force, which has like Naruto and Dragon Ball in it. I don't really know those characters that well, but it looked like some sort of an open world, maybe not really open world, maybe just large-scale fighting game. It was ridiculous. There were so many little games like that. I was just like, did not expect that, but yes, please, thank you very much. Sign me up. I will probably give that a go. I know I'm missing some things. There's just so much that dropped there. Oh, wait, before we go, Fallout 76. How could I forget that? Fallout 76 is there, and we actually got to learn about it. It is in West Virginia, the hills of West Virginia. It is apparently 4 times bigger than any Fallout they've ever worked on before, so a massive open world. It definitely looks more beautiful than Fallout 4, and it is, you know, it's a prequel to all of the Fallout games, so we're going to get to see a very different look at the Wasteland. And that is something that I'm really excited about. They didn't at all talk about online play, but that's because the Bethesda conference is in a few hours. It's going to be happening very soon, so we'll talk more about that in a separate video. And again, it's the same thing for a lot of this stuff. I know a lot of you guys are going to want to hear what I think about The Division. You know, what do I think about some of these other share world shooter things we saw there? Fallout, I know you're going to want me to talk about. I'm going to talk about all of that during the week in their own separate videos where we go a little bit deeper on top of my continued coverage for Anthem, as well as doing like Mondays with Mo and some of the other regular content that's been on the channel. It's going to be a pretty packed and exciting week, so stay locked and loaded with me. I want to come back to that Halo trailer one more time, though, because just look at these screenshots, guys. Look at that footage, and man, I don't know, it just does it for me. Like, lifetime Halo fan since the very first game, it just does it for me, and I want to know more so badly. So let me know your thoughts, guys, on the entire conference. What had you excited the most? What was a pleasant surprise maybe for you? Let me know your feelings down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.